I plan to make these worlds meet face to face. Please help me welcome my mentor, Brittany.
Good morning, everyone. I have a complicated relationship with pageants. It has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and it's brought me many highs and lows in that time, just as it has for many others who participate in pageants. Because of this, pageants are incredibly important to me, and I wouldn't be who I am today without the experience of competing, winning, losing, and supporting others along the way. Today, I want to share the biggest lesson I have learned from competing: to approach any challenge with an open heart. I've competed since I was a young child, but the turning point in my level of engagement in competing was when I first competed in National American Miss 12 years ago in 2004. It was the second year NAM had a pageant in Colorado, so it was pretty new, and I hadn't competed in a few years, so I didn't know what to expect. I made a decision that is surprising to me in retrospect. I decided to have fun with it. I was unusually friendly to everyone and enthusiastic, although it was partially sustained by sarcasm. I felt confident in my performances and wasn't too worried about the consequences. In a group of 123 girls, I was number 122, and I won. This is the first time I learned that lesson, that the best way to approach a competition was to come with an open heart, to perform your best, not worry about your competitors, and to accept the results for what they are. Now, this is much easier said than done. I did not always follow this. One of the biggest disappointments I faced was in America's Junior Miss pageant. This is a pageant that places a heavy emphasis on academic achievement, talent, and interview, similar to Miss America, but you can only compete once as a senior in high school. The state pageant was very small. Only 4 girls competed, including myself. I was 15 at the time, 3 years younger than the other girls, since I had an accelerated path in school. I'd been accepted at the University of Pennsylvania. All the girls seemed nice and smart enough, but I felt that I would do well given my unique academic situation and my strong experience competing in talent and interview. The competitions went smoothly, and I felt good about my performance. Then the awards started to get announced. They called talent an onstage question. They didn't go to me. I shrugged it off, even though I felt that I had done well. Then they got to academic achievement. I was certain it would go to me. But when it was announced, I didn't hear my name. I kept up appearances on stage, but I was confused. And at that point, I knew I was definitely not going to place or get the overall title. I don't know what happened or why it happened that way. I knew it couldn't have been fair because I was, in my view, indisputably the most academically accomplished. And yet I came home with nothing. It was the most upsetting loss because it made no sense. But I learned that life will not always go your way, and it won't be fair, but you have to move on. Many other girls I've met over the years have had disappointing losses that have taken them months or even years to recover from completely. I know for myself it has helped me to cope with other disappointments I have faced, so I'm grateful for having learned that lesson once more the hard way. But I didn't get to that place immediately. After that loss, I went through a rebellion of sorts. I was in college, away from home, and a teenager. My mom continued to make me compete, and it brought me little joy to do so. I had always been an outsider in pageants. My interests rarely aligned with those of the typical pageant contestant. I was turned off by the shallowness, the plastic facades, hiding ugly behavior on the part of the girls and the parents. and the lack of ambition to do something more with their lives than take home a crown. I'd forgotten that I had met girls along the way that I did connect with, and who were of a similar mind, viewing pageantry as a hobby that is a stepping stone and learning skills and lessons applicable to the rest of your life. I'd forgotten to approach pageants with an open heart because of that disillusionment, and I didn't perform as well. My mom continued to convince me to compete, and eventually I emerged from this phase of trying to deny any part in pageants and arrived at a more balanced understanding of pageantry's place in my life. The first thing I realized was that I wouldn't be where I was if I hadn't competed. Because I had skipped 3 grades very early on, I wasn't naturally the most social or outgoing. I was a bookworm who was content in her schoolwork and dance classes. To this day, I still consider myself an introvert, but I know how to present myself and connect with people because of pageants. I had successful college interviews and got into the college of my dreams because of pageants. I was able to handle the onslaught of national news media that after I started attending college at 15 with grace and poise because of pageants. And I am able to be an enthusiastic and articulate software engineer today and hold my own as one of the few black women in my field because of pageants. The second thing I realized was that the girls I knew who entered pageants took one of 2 paths. They either took what they learned from pageants and moved on to apply what they learned to bigger and better dreams, or they got caught up in the pursuit of winning titles for their own sake. Pageants should never become the end-all be-all. There's a reason pageants have the stereotype they do of having beautiful but not terribly bright women competing in them. I've known girls who have promise to become something more, but decide that their main worth is their physical appearance and bubbly personality, and thus throw away their potential. But what society doesn't see are the girls who take the enthusiasm, perseverance, social savviness, and presentation skills they have learned to advance their career in any field they choose. My mom and I started this scholarship to encourage those girls who will take what they learn here and use it for greater pursuits. I want to see less girls pining after unrealistic fantasies of stardom and more pursuing goals that they have the power to accomplish, goals that help themselves and others. Pageants are fun and strangely addicting, but always remember your greater purpose in doing them. It is up to you as a competitor to determine if pageants empower women or demean them. If you approach them with an open heart, taking the good with the bad, learning a lesson with every high and low, you will come away winning no matter what. Thank you.